There you go.
Perfect. I think we are recording. Yay! Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm super excited for this. So I'm going to be going over a few things. I'm going to talk about a little bit of Facebook content. We're going to be covering a little touch on Instagram because I personally am still learning all that stuff. Just mute everybody out. Mute all. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to be covering a bunch of stuff. So I know a lot of people said like maybe attraction marketing or like getting people that are interested into your posts. I know that's a big one that a lot of people have questions about. And if any of you have heard of Erin King, she is amazing. She spoke at Thrivepalooza. She was in Denver. She really talks about the pull versus push method. And I know that we've discussed that a lot. I'm going to kind of show you some examples of what pull versus push looks like, and then give you some ideas of how you can start creating your own content, because I feel like a lot of people get stuck and they're like, I don't know what to post, I don't know what to say, and then you end up just pulling graphics because you're like, well, it's better for me to just pull something than nothing at all, right? Let me see if I can screen share on here. I'm just going to pull up my Facebook real quick.
Say, Megan, do you want to just quick introduce yourself to some of the people that might not know you?
I am Megan Holcomb. I am a 12K with Lavelle. I've been in the company since May of last year, so I'm going on about 15 months. And I was previously in all sorts of corporate jobs. So this is, I feel like I really found my passion. I really enjoy social media. It's my passion. If any of you do know me, you know that that's something I really love. So I'm happy. And I know a lot of us run our business on social media because that is the age that we're in. It is, everyone is on social media nowadays, and you see more and more jobs that are going away from the person-to-person aspect, and they're using computers, or you're seeing all these businesses close because they're going to online ordering systems like Amazon is taking over the world. And so it is so important that if you're not currently utilizing social media, to start incorporating it a little bit. Yes, you can use other outlets to run your business, but it is such a social media age that it's so important to be using it the right way and to be attracting the right way. And that's what I want to show you guys today and give you some tips, advice, some maybe not to-dos, and really help you guys launch your social media engagement and really utilize it to the best capacity. And so, like I said, I'm going to touch on some content to post on Facebook. I'm also going to do stories because they are the up and coming thing, you guys. People are going to be going to stories. Everyone, like I catch myself even looking at people's stories because it's just where Facebook is trying to gravitate people to. It's where Instagram is gravitating people to. It's the first thing that you see when you pop onto Facebook, and it allows people to get a glimpse into your life. And so the first thing I want to talk about is really showing Facebook content, because I feel like that's where a lot of us are. And that's the biggest, largest platform that people are using right now. And I just want to help you guys really target your audience the best way, really how to understand how to appeal correctly, and then how to use your photos in the right way too. So I'm trying to get my Facebook up. Okay, I'm going to screen share you guys. Screen. Start now. Tell me if you guys can see it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to pull up my Facebook. So this is my Facebook. The first thing that's so important, you guys, is making sure it's a picture of you. I know we all love our family and our puppies and all that stuff, but it's really important for your audience to have a clear picture of yourself so that you it's your face, so they get to know you as a person. You want to have a clean backdrop at the top up here because you don't want it cluttered with a bunch of things. You want it really appealing to the eye, because if you're adding friends, this is the first thing that they're seeing. They're getting a quick snapshot of the person that you are before they accept. And so a clean profile is so important. you can, in your cover photo, you can use whatever you want, like your family and stuff like that, but make sure it's very appealing. Nobody's face is cut off with the circle, anything like that. So make sure you're also pulling your profiles up on multiple platforms like a desktop and your phone, just to see how it looks like visually appealing and that sort of thing. I have a little snapshot about myself. There is nothing about Thrive in here. I love my company. I am proud of my company, but I don't want people to think that is the reason that I'm adding them. Like, because my number one objective is to build friendships first. So I just have a little bit about who I am. If you guys don't know about creating your 5 things about you, that is where you want to start, is really writing down 5 things that define you. And then I kind of highlight mine in my little snapshot right here. Be in love with you, focused in faith, and then a football obsessed mama and small town living. So those are things that I'll post about, because I'm not going to just write that up there and then never post about it, because people want to know what type of person you are so they can know, like, and trust you. And then I do have my website on here, because I noticed that I'm actually getting more traction by having my website posted there, but I don't say like Lavelle Thrive. There's not Thrive on my profile picture. There's not Thrive in my cover photo. It's not plastered everywhere because it's just a part of me. It's not who I am, if that makes sense. Your little featured photos, I just kept mine to 6, but clean, and try to bring it into what you're about again. So I did put something about the business, my family. I strategically placed something with my DFT. And then there's these new story highlights. That might be a more in-depth training I go into where you can do those sort of things. But this is somewhere where you can like highlight some of the stories that you have shared, like kind of save them so that people can view them later after they have expired off of your stories. So I did a live video, but so it's really important that you have really clean photos. And so like I use what's called Adobe Lightroom. That might also be another Zoom where I might have to do something that's advanced, but it's like a filter basically. And I use the same filter for all my photos because I want a consistent look for my Facebook. But let me show you one I did the other day. So this would be an example of like what a pull story would be. I am trying to talk to my audience as if they're the ones reading it and I'm talking to them. But I'm also including myself. But as you notice, I say you a lot, like when you're feeling good, when you deserve to be happy, when you're looking your best, blah, 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 because I want my audience to picture themselves in my story. I typically don't write I, me, that sort of thing, unless I'm really trying to tell a story about myself. But if it portrays to the business, I try to make it so that they're like, oh my God, it's like she's speaking to me. Let me see if I can find that. Like, picture this, you're running your day instead of your day running you. So really trying to draw your people into picturing themselves in your story, because that's what's going to draw them in. So like I said, all my pictures have the exact same filter. And then sometimes I'll do, like, if I notice my engagement is dipping a little bit, I will throw something funny on there, because people come to Facebook or any social media platform to be entertained, educated, provided with something valuable, to laugh, anything like that. And so people want to find funny memes, right? They'll share them, whatever that looks like. So, and I'm a mom, so I'll share mom memes, like the new sponge in my sink, just brighten my day, being an adult is stupid. Like, people laughed at that, right? I got people sharing it on their pages, so that's bringing more people to my page. A lot of engagement. So then when I click on these, I can go through these people and start, this is how I interact. I will go into the people that have liked my stuff and interact with all of these people, because I want to continue to cultivate that relationship and keep them coming back to my social media. Is there any questions about any of that? I know you're like, a lot of people say, like, how can I get people more interested in what I'm saying? If you feel like you're not getting a lot of engagement on your Facebook posts, it's one of 2 reasons. One is that you are talking too much about yourself or you're being too spammy. I'm going to be completely honest. What I mean by spammy is you're throwing up a bunch of benefits about the products. You're just slapping a picture that you found on Pinterest or maybe from like a picture of the 3 steps. Like you're just throwing up something you found and then writing something like I have $150 that I want to, I don't know, whatever that looks like. I have $35 off 150, blah, blah, blah. There's certain key things that Facebook looks for that they're going to block. Website is one of them. So if you're throwing your website on your Facebook page in your posts, Facebook is going to push that down in the algorithm. It's not going to be viewed by your audience. Another thing, if you're saying sale, sell, dollar amounts, anything like that, that stuff gets pushed down. So try to avoid using stuff like that. I usually say, like, I have something really special that I want to share with you, reach out to me, or something like that. If I'm doing a product post or something like that. Let me see. There we go. I'll go to this one. I try to have some sort of call to action in my post. So I'll tell a story. When you wake up one day, look in the mirror, and you do not recognize the person who is looking back at you. Because you know there's people on the other side of that are feeling that way. So you want them to be like, oh my God, that's me. That's how I'm feeling right now. And then I put something, you deserve to show up for yourself. And I will sometimes say in there too, like, reach out to me. I have something special to get you started feeling your best, or whatever that looks like. Call to action is so important in your posts, because if you're writing this lengthy post and then you're not putting anything for your audience to do with it, they're just going to leave it, if that makes sense. Let me try to think of what else. Does anyone have any questions right now? Oh, the second part. So the first part, it's either you're coming off as too spammy or you're talking too much about yourself. People want to feel like they're part of your journey. So you need to bring them into that. The second part is you're probably not doing enough engagement on the back end with your audience for them to actually see your stuff. What I mean by that. So like I said, I create these like funny posts or whatever that people engage with likes or loves or whatever. I don't just leave it at that. I go in here and I will find somebody. Let's go with Ashley. And then if she has something that I feel like I can comment on, I will comment on her post. And then I want to make sure that it's something that's meaningful and something that somehow brings her back to the conversation, if that makes sense. So she's posting a picture of her kids. I will say, oh my gosh, your kids are so cute. Where did you find that outfit? Or I will say, looks like you had an awesome day at the zoo. Was it spendy? Or what was your favorite exhibit that you went to? Like something where you're asking a question so they need to respond back. Or sometimes I'll just provide value. If they're like, I'm going through a really rough time and they just need encouragement, I want to be that light to them. But I'm not just doing what we call quote unquote drive-by comments, you guys. And what a drive-by comment is it's like a flame emoji and you're like 100 and high five or whatever that looks like. That does nothing for you. That does nothing for them. So when you're actually going in to comment and interact and engage with your audience, make sure you're doing something that's causing them to react back to you. So you need to be doing a lot of that on the back end for people to start seeing your stuff. And as you start building community with those people and friendships, like you'll see them coming around to your posts more. But they're not going to see them if you're not engaging with them first. Facebook loves community, and if they see that you're having a back and forth conversation, there's like a light bulb that goes off in the algorithm and it thinks these two like each other. Let's have them start seeing each other's stuff more, if that makes sense. So that's how I do engagement one way.
Megan, show them how you engage, like in your post where you've got those comments that people, do you just leave the comments and click that you like that they commented, or what do you do with all your comments?
Nope. So like last night, pardon my French in my post, but I did a funny with kids. Like you'd think kids would have this shit figured out after going to bed 3,000 times. So I have comments on here. They're like, she's like, why? And I say, do we, like, I'll reply something back. Do we have to go to bed at 8:30? Yes. Did you yesterday? Then the answer is yes. So I will comment back to try to get them to engage with me. Sometimes they won't, but I am still creating that back and forth conversation so Facebook knows that we're engaging with each other. So I don't leave my likes. If there's likes on my post, I utilize them. I go into the likes, I click on the name, I engage with them. I utilize my comments. If they're commenting, I'm replying with a comment that's more than just like, thank you, or a heart, or something like that. It is a comment that is going to get them to hopefully comment back. If they don't, it's not a big deal because you're already engaging with them, so it's fine. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else have a question on that piece? Any of this so far? Just unmute yourself. I can't see if you're writing in the chat because I'm sharing my screen. No? Stories. We'll go to stories next because they're huge. So I know that Facebook has stories that you can add to a story like here. But let me tell you, I rarely add to my stories from Facebook like this. That's not the way that I do it. Just because you're limited on the stuff that you can put on your Facebook stories, like what Facebook allows you to actually use. But the first tip that I want to give, if you are creating stories from Facebook's, from their, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like from their repertoire, or whatever the thing that they have. Let's just click on this one, for instance. You need to make sure it fills the whole screen. Because if you're just posting a little square on the inside that looks like this, it distracts your audience and they're just going to click past it because it doesn't look appealing. You want to make sure you're filling the whole page. So I will show you how I actually create my stories. I use Instagram. Instagram allows me to layer. It allows me to do things with GIFs, so like movable emojis, if you will. And I think that's so much more appealing to people. And I just really like the way that Instagram has their stuff set up. So I'll go into my Instagram and give you guys an example of what I do. I'll just click on my stories. So every day I will highlight one of the 3 steps that I'm doing. And I don't even say a whole lot about it. So like this one, I just did a boomerang of me pouring out my capsules. This is something about me, Faith. So I do that. And see how on the bottom, there's that little circle that says Facebook. You click that and it'll share it to Facebook for you. So I'm utilizing the whole space. There's a couple different apps that I use that I will post in both Thrive to Survive and Thrive Above All too, that I utilize personally to make them look like this. Because I feel like they look really nice and appealing to the eye. But what I do is I'll click on this little camera on the top. So if you're not utilizing Instagram right now, I'm telling you, you don't necessarily have to master Instagram right now or anything like that, but at least set up an Instagram account so that you can create stories because it's just so much prettier on Instagram. I don't know why, it just is. I hope eventually Facebook will catch on. They're the same company, but this is what I personally do. So I will bring up a picture and then I'll add layers. So like I'm just gonna add a little GIF. So either they give you like a bunch of different ones that you can choose from. Just put some pretty hearts in here and then you can do typing, blah, 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 and stuff like that. There is an arrow with a line underneath it at the top. You can click that to save it and then upload it into your Facebook stories. That's another way to do it. Or you can click that little circle with the Facebook and it'll automatically import into Facebook, which is nice. Now, let me tell you, if you're doing polls or if you're doing like asking questions, so like if you're doing mentions, hashtags, or polls or questions or the quiz or any of these things besides music or gifts, it will not transfer well to Facebook because they won't be able to vote on the poll. So if you're doing a poll, make sure that you're making the picture, saving it, uploading it to Facebook, and then creating the poll on there. If you're not utilizing polls on your stories, you need to start utilizing polls on your stories. It is so important. It gets you a new type of audience that are just watching stories, because some people don't even scroll the timeline anymore. They just watch stories. And it allows you to get people to vote on stuff so that you have it just gives you a list of people that you can start reaching out to. I never give no as an option, just so you guys know. So if I'm like, I have 3-day samples available, I never provide no as an option. I will say like, yes, send me more info, or I'm ready now, tell me more about it. Like whatever that looks like, but I never provide no as an option for them to click, because why would you want them to say no, you know? I will tell you that sometimes people do click them on accident. So if I'm replying to a post vote, I will say like first, hey, I just wanted to check to make sure that you meant to vote on my poll. If so, I'm happy to provide you answers or whatever it is. But I always like to preface it like that, because sometimes you do get people that accidentally vote on them. So that is stories. How I explain stories. Stories are, hi Ashley. Stories are like oh, there she is again. Stories are like a peek into your life. People want to see what you're doing. They are so nosy, you guys. And it gives you the opportunity to show them who you are, like what you're doing throughout the day, kind of what's going on in your life, like your timeline, like your Instagram. This is all your pretty pictures with all of your thought out things. Facebook is the same thing. It's like your nice pictures with a thought out post, or your Facebook lives, or like whatever that looks like. Your Instagram should be a peek into your life. So for me, I have my capsules that I'm showing. I do one step every morning. So my audience knows that I am taking my products every day, because that is so important. They can't physically see you taking your products every day. So this is a way for them to see it. If they're in your stories, that you are actually using the products. You've got to be a product of the product. It's how your audience trusts you. You're not just a salesperson, but it's actually working for you. If you stop showing people that you're using the products, they're going to lose the trust in you, because they're going to think you're just trying to sell me something, because you're not even using it yourself. So that's what I do. So I show my capsules. I always do my Bible and devotional in the morning. So I show that every single morning. And I get a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I love so much that you post those Bible verses. They really help me out every day. Like, I want to help people out. I want to provide value. And I also want to show them that this is something that I do. So then I have a nice little story that I created that I'm mailing out samples. And my daughter taking a nap because she's so cute. And then that I signed up another promoter, because I want people to know that I'm successful in the business too. So if I'm getting these emails, I'll screenshot them and show them that I'm, actually doing stuff with my business. And there's a little bit of quote unquote FOMO that people get, fear of missing out, where they're like, oh man, there is all these people that are actually doing this stuff. Maybe I should think about it, kind of a thing. So don't steal my stuff by any means, but make something your own that kind of does the same thing. Does that help with stories, you guys? Does anyone have questions on story? And can you guys mute yourselves out too, please? Ooh, Paul is doing oh shoot, it's right now. 26 minutes. This is a way for you to also get people to engage with. So the number on the bottom, I don't know if I can click on it because this thing's in the way. Oh, there we go. So click on this. This is a way that you can start engaging with people. Who is viewing your stories? And then clicking on view profile, and then just going down and commenting on their stuff. That's another way I engage. So the way I engage with my audience every day, I don't know who's not muted. Can you mute yourself? Can anyone see who's not muted? Jack, can you?
I'm looking. Devonna? Taylor?
All right, I'll just keep going because we're limited on time. So that's another way that I do engagement. So I will go through comments and or through the views, and I will engage that way too, because you're gonna have different. This is like how you see your secret viewers, you guys. It's like a hack. Because you can't always see who's seeing all your stuff because they're not always going to engage on your Facebook posts or your Instagram posts, but they will engage or like look at your stories. So these are like my secret watchers, and I like to engage with them so that they do see my stuff all the time. But that's how you can kind of get a glimpse of. If you want to drive up your, also if you want to drive up your story views, you need to engage with the people that are viewing your stories. We found that out. If you're going into your story views and you start engaging with the people that are watching them, it will bump up the views that you're getting in your story because it brings it to the front for other people, if that makes sense. Because when you pull up Facebook, you notice there's like the line of people that you can click. If you're constantly engaging with the people in your stories, it will push your picture up to the front of other people's because they're like, ooh, this is a good story. Lots of people are watching it and she's engaging with them. So I hope that helps too. Instagram, I'm still a baby on, so I only have 600 followers, but I'm working on it. I've only actively been working my Instagram for about a month, 2 months maybe. And I got this really amazing tip from Emily, and because I was doing, my profile was public, and I was doing hashtags to try to get followers, and I was not getting good, I wasn't getting good response from it. So I switched to a private profile. I do follows of anywhere from 50 to 200 a day. I know it sounds excessive, but I have the time, so I'm going to do it. It's part of the things that I do in the morning right away is I do my follows and my ads on Facebook, but follows on Instagram and my ads on Facebook. And when you have a private profile, people are like, I wonder who this person is because they can't see any of your stuff. So it kind of piques their curiosity. So then they're more likely to accept your follow and then actually follow you back too. And since I've been doing that, I increased 100 over 3 days. So, I mean, it makes a huge difference. But Instagram is like a whole, I don't understand. I'm going to do more research on the Instagram algorithm because it's a whole new beast, but it's totally different than Facebook. But the most important thing with Instagram is that your pictures are clean and consistent. So you need to be applying the same filter. You don't have to use Adobe Lightroom. You can use the filters that Instagram has to offer because there's a ton of them. But you need to make sure that it's clean and consistent. So like mine always highlights me, my family, my 3 steps are in there, stuff like that. But Facebook is all about visual. People want to look at your Instagram profile, and they want to it's got to be visually appealing. Like everything has to be super pretty because the tiles are all together. So if you're pulling up someone's Instagram profile and all their pictures are different, or there's just a bunch of graphics of Thrive or a bunch of graphics of words and stuff like that, it's not appealing to the audience. They want to see pictures of you. So make sure that's what, if you're starting Instagram, that's what the first thing I would suggest is making sure you have a clean profile. And if you're starting fresh and you don't have a lot of pictures, I'm going to say you should add at least like 10 to 12 pictures right away so that you can have a nice base. It's not going to do anything from your algorithm. It's going to do stuff for like your follows because people will come to your profile and see that you have pictures. So, and I actually like switched I went from this filter into a new one. So when I switched my filters, I made sure that I added quite like a whole line of pictures right away so that it was like at the top, if that makes sense. I don't know. This is going kind of in depth, but again, with Instagram, you want to put a little blurb about yourself. There's these little highlight things that you can do that just show your previous stories that you have done. And the way you do that is just click new and it allows you to create a new highlight. But I can go in depth with that too later. Just do a whole one on just Instagram and probably a whole one on Facebook and stuff. But I just wanted to do a brief overview of everything so you guys have some stuff that you can take home and start implementing right away. I'm going to leave the next like 5 minutes open for questions. If you have a question, please unmute yourself. I'm going to keep on the screen share so that you guys can see my stuff and I can walk you through things if you have questions that are like technical that I can actually show you. So feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question. No question is a dumb question either.
I have a question.
Yeah.
With the Instagram thing, I do a lot of stories, but I really don't do a lot on the feed. Should I pull them both out, or should I just continue going the way I'm going?
The way I would suggest with Instagram is you should be posting like one post on Instagram a day at least into your feed. And then as many stories as you want, without being excessive, but I would say definitely be posting one picture into the news feed every day. One, because you want to build up your pictures. People like to look at the pictures. And two, it just starts getting you into people's timeline a little bit too.
All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? I know there's questions.
Hey, Megan, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Sorry about Peppa playing in the background, but okay. So I do a little. I go follow Happy on Instagram, and I'm having the same issue that you were having, but now my following is significantly higher than my followers, and I heard that that's actually like a negative thing in the Instagram world. So should I just go unfollow Happy?
So the tool that I used to use was called Captivate. Instagram kind of blocked Captivate. There's I use Cleaner now, and that seems to be okay. So what Cleaner does is, I'm trying to pull it up here so you guys can see, is you can click on your following and then go quick select, advanced select, and select non-followers. It will pull up anybody and highlight them that doesn't follow you, and you can unfollow them. You can only do, I believe, like 200 every few hours, 200 unfollows every few hours before Instagram will start to catch on to what you're doing and block you. So that's what I would suggest using. And I'm going to see if I can find.
Perfect.
Like here you can see, my own husband doesn't even follow me. What a jerk. So you see the blue circle around he doesn't use Instagram, let's be honest. But see the blue circle around there? That is, that means he doesn't follow me. So then you can just click that lightning bolt like this and then click unfollow and it'll do it for you.
Awesome. That's super easy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have another free app that I've been using with Instagram, and it shows you your popularity, who doesn't follow you back, people that have unfollowed you and when they unfollowed you, and that's called Followers Chief, and it's like a little red square with a rocket ship, kind of almost like it Social Code.
Cool.
But it's red and it's got a white rocket ship, and it's really, really cool. And it's free, and it has your picture, tells you your popularity and everything.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No. I think it's going to end us pretty quick here, but I'm going to pull this up and see if I can see any of the comments. Why won't it let me click on it? Okay, well, if no one else has any other questions, we can end this. And if you have follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out. I am so happy to share. And let me just turn my video back on. Thank you guys for tuning in. Reach out if you have questions, put them in the comments, and I'll probably do some more advanced ones later on too that deal with just Instagram or just Facebook or just stories too. But I just wanted to give everybody a broad overview. I hope this helped.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Kimberly, I believe it should give you the option to stop it, and then it will have you save it, and it'll create like a video.
Okay.
I believe. I'm not super familiar on that, but I will get somebody that is, and we will figure it out so that we can share this with everybody.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Thank you all for tuning in, and have a wonderful night.
Good night.